Games. Who doesn't love them? What if we told you one of the most popular tabletop games of all time might be turning into a film or TV series? That's right, folks. Amazon has acquired the film rights to the Warhammer 40K IP, and the cherry on top is that our all-time favorite English actor has expressed interest in producing and starring in it. Let's talk more about the upcoming movie. First up, why does Amazon want Warhammer? Amazon has been on the lookout for new talent to trample its competitors, especially after the release of Lord of the Rings of Power, which got 25 million views worldwide. The company is keen to ride this high for as long as it can. Maybe they've realized that popular games and novel adaptations work, and they've now turned to tabletop games for inspiration, and this is where the game comes into the picture. Fortunately for Warhammer, Amazon was quick to recognize that it could become a potential series hit. Amazon was quick to commercialize and go head-on with mega-hit streaming services like Netflix and HBO Max. Although the London-listed Games Workshop hasn't revealed commercial details, we're hopeful it'll be available to us sooner than anticipated. Games Workshop is in bliss after their shares reached a 15% increase. With Amazon's reach worldwide, the company is clearly riding a high. Over 50% of British households have Amazon. We can expect Games Workshop to only go up from this point on, and rightfully so. For 30 years, it's been bringing futuristic tabletop games to fans all around the world. It's about time they got a movie or TV series adaptation of their own. Games Workshop said Amazon will be developing its intellectual property within the game, starting with the Warhammer 40K universe. This British firm will be granting merchandising rights to the company, and they're set to start developing and holding preliminary discussions with the writers. We can't wait to see what they have in store for us. Next up, is Henry Cavill producing Warhammer 40K? The actor was seen fangirling over the possibility of a movie adaptation of his favorite tabletop game, having stated in recent interviews that he had been waiting for this moment for 30 years, which is a long time in our opinion. He also said that after 22 years of experience in the cinema, he has the skill set that will help him guide Warhammer to fruition. He's on the lookout for filmmakers, creators, and writers, so if you believe you're up for the task, head on over to Henry Cavill's DMs and let him know. His active involvement in the production of this series has piqued investor and audience interest, and there are speculations of him potentially starring in the series he's set to produce. This Warhammer fan will help expand the fan base of his tabletop favorite, and we are all for it. After starring as Superman and Geralt of Rivia, he has proven time and again that if there's one thing he's good at, it's bringing beloved characters to life. Following that, what can fans expect? Based upon a political satire that came out around the 1980s, Warhammer 40K is set in the 41st millennium. The story revolves around the themes relating to human nature, but did you know that this unique aspect of the game was why Henry was so drawn in? The game is based on a theocratic empire ruled by the God Emperor that's locked in a perpetual war with various aliens and heretical factions. It's played with small plastic models of soldiers, tanks, and other futuristic weaponry. Players take turns moving their pieces around a battlefield. For how the game works, based on the setting of the original game, we've speculated that the series will be set in a post-apocalyptic world where there's one supreme ruler who has psychic abilities and is known as the God Emperor of mankind. It will be a commentary on modern times and how our society is corrupted within itself and how our ignorance will be the death of mankind as we know it. Life as we know it is finished. People are engulfed in a war on an unimaginable scale, and innovation has ceased to exist. The series will also focus on the Imperial Guard, the regular troops fighting alongside the Space Marines. Other characters that'll be featured in the series include the Eldar, who are a race of aliens that are allied with the humans, the Orcs, who are a race of savage warriors, and the Chaos Marines, who are actually Space Marines who dark forces have corrupted. If you think about it, the series says a lot about us as a society, and if we carried on as we're doing right now, this dystopian board game might just turn into a reality. Political satire or not, if you think about it, these game makers can be awfully good at predicting the future. Next up, why does Henry Cavill want to be in it? Anyone who knows him knows that he is a huge gaming nerd. From building his very own gaming PC during the COVID pandemic to talking about games like World of Warcraft and Total War, he's not one to shy from embracing his geekiness in his interviews, and we're all for it. On Instagram, he posted about his lifelong hobby of painting Warhammer miniatures, and fans agreed that the lore is rich and has been developing over decades. If you think about it, Henry and Warhammer are undoubtedly a match made in heaven. On top of that, the actor has been a fan of the game since he was a teenager, and he even has a tattoo of the Imperial Aquila on his right right arm. He has said that he would love to play the role of Space Marine Commander Titus in a live-action adaptation of the franchise. While it's not yet known if Amazon plans to adapt Warhammer 40K into a live-action series or a movie, his interest in starring in such a project is certainly compelling. If Amazon does decide to adapt the project for the screen, it would be exciting to see Cavill bring his passion for the franchise to life on the big or small screen. Coming up next, who would fans love to see in the Warhammer franchise? Any mega-hit show needs a mega-hit cast as well, and fans have been speculating about who'll be starring in this fantasy wargame movie. Potential candidates that come to mind are Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who recently let go of the DC dream. But fear not, Henry Cavill is in the same boat, and you know what's better than one hot male lead? Two hot male leads. He had recently discovered he has a knack for anti-heroism after starring as Black Adam, and he won't shy away from playing a villainous role in the upcoming series. Johnson for Orc Warlord, anyone? We also have the Queen of Darkness next in line for potential leads. Jenna Ortega is one of the most beloved screen presences right now. After Wednesday's worldwide boom, fans can't wait for her to be on screen again. Warhammer might give this aspiring actress a chance to show off her might as a versatile actress. We also have Millie Bobby Brown on the list after gaining fame from Stranger Things, and Enola Holmes. Getting her to play in her first mature role for Warhammer would certainly be a huge win for Amazon. And on top of that, perhaps her older co-star might even convince her to join the cause. And who can forget Brie Larson? Getting her would be a major win for Warhammer. Although Captain Marvel's schedule is a little jam-packed with projects big and small, from the Fast X press tour and her Prime project, it's alright Larson, even a cameo from you is good enough for us. Let's talk a little bit more about what fans are expecting. After Henry Cavill announced he'll be producing the new Warhammer series, Twitter has exploded with a burst of emotion, expressing their concerns over the streaming service choice and the subject matter. The thing is, despite having an established fan base, Warhammer 40K is still unknown to a lot of the potential audience. Fans said it's one of the reasons why they're concerned about Cavill's little pet project is that Amazon's last series, Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power, was a major disappointment, and it's true that Amazon failed to win over Tolkien fans. Though some people have pointed out that there's a chance that it's just Lord of the Rings haters trashing the show unnecessarily and that hate to see Cavill share the same fate, despite the actor's strong stance on shows remaining as authentic to the real thing as possible. There's a chance that Warhammer might face the same fate with Amazon behind the driver's wheel. Finally, why should we be excited about this? Warhammer is set in the 41st millennium and has everything a game could ever ask for: a dystopian dark universe, humanity on the verge of collapse, and aliens, loads and loads of extraterrestrial monsters waiting to pounce at you. Spanning over a total of 9 editions, starting from the 1980s to the 2020s, it has a rich lore that's guaranteed to knock your socks off. Adding on to that, it also has a novel collection offering background context about the game and how it works. The series keeps on building, from audiobooks to graphic comics, and Cavill will have a hard time deciding what to include and what not to. So fans, take a chill pill. You might like the show and movie better than your average game spinoff. And who can forget, Warhammer 40K is going to be brought to life by its #1 fan. We can't wait to see how our favorite geek stars in and produces his pet project. It'll be his first ever debut as a producer after working in the industry for almost 22 years. And fans are going crazy to see what our Warhammer head has in store for us. After his exit from Superman and The Witcher, we know y'all are sad that Henry's leaving a lot of potentially amazing projects behind. But look on the bright side, he'll now be bringing us a live version of his all-time favorite game. That's a wrap for this video. Let us know which tabletop game you'd like to see turned into a movie or TV series in the comments below. If you liked what you saw, make sure to hit the subscribe button. More sizzling content coming your way soon.